Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session of Expert Edge. We are excited to explore the topic of hyper-personalization and the role of empathy in self-service with the advancement of voice bots in the generative AI landscape. Joining us today are Gaurav Juneja, Chief Revenue Officer from Capture CX, along with Shruti Jadhav, Vice President and Principal Analyst, and Richa Chaube, Analyst, both from QKS Group. They will delve into how self service has evolved from a basic tool of convenience to a vital strategy for customer engagement. This discussion will cover how hyper personalization enables businesses to anticipate customer needs, fostering genuine connections and enhancing overall satisfaction. Additionally, the panel will examine how voice bots powered by generative AI are transforming self service into a more human like experience, ultimately driving trust, loyalty, and operational efficiency.
Thanks for joining us today, Gaurav. And we are here to talk about on the most trending topics when it comes to CX, and for a good reason. So, no doubt, self-service has come a long way, becoming a critical part of customer experience strategies for businesses across various industries. As we see that it's evolved far beyond a simple FAQ page or automated phone menu. I think today's self-service option is a crucial part of customer experience strategies across various industries, as it not only lets customers get quick answers or solutions, but also frees up the support team for the big stuff. So, having said that, the role of self-service has evolved. I think it's because now it's not just about the convenience or cutting costs anymore. I believe self-service has now evolved into a powerful way to engage customers on a more personal level. Also, it's not new that customers want their experiences to be felt tailor-made just for them, and businesses are stepping up the game by weaving hyper personalization into their self service strategies. And so, when we talk about hyper personalization in terms of self service, I think empathy plays a crucial role in fostering these connections, because it's just not about tailoring interactions based on data. It's about understanding and anticipating customer needs in a way that feels human. So imagine a self-service system that doesn't just solve problems but also acknowledges the customer's past frustrations or preferences, offering thoughtful solutions that show the brand truly gets them. I think this empathetic touch transforms self-service from a purely transactional tool into a meaningful experience that builds trust and loyalty. I think in these moments when a brand goes beyond just fixing the problem and adds the extra personal touch, I think that really stands out. So, self-service today is all about blending efficiency with empathy, creating experiences that make customers feel heard, understood, and genuinely valued. So, Gaurav, with this, I would love to hear your perspective about these two greatest trends in the CX space, that is self-service and hyper-personalization. So, according to you, what are some of the opportunities you believe exist for innovation and growth, both from brand and technology perspective?
Perfect. No, first of all, thanks, Shruti, for setting that context. And again, thank you so much for having me. You're absolutely right. I think personalized CX and self-service are two lighthouse trends in the market today. And this is across sectors, whether it is retail, e-commerce, BFSI, omni-channel, consumer durables, travel, across the board. Uh, what stands out, right? I mean, amongst both, so basis the study that we've seen across a bunch of consultancies, and everybody has different results, but between 35 and 50% of the customers today are expecting that the businesses that they deal with, they offer them a self-service option. They do not necessarily now want to be on the call or chatting to a human, because then that gives them better or on demand responses. So that's one. Second, similar percentage of folks are saying that if I'm not getting a response which is personalized and contextual, right, and that tends to be a big pain point. I've spoken with the call center once, and then when I call up again, I need to explain that entire issue again. Then those are the big barriers to dealing with humanized support. So absolutely, personalized CX and self-service are massive trends. I think the businesses have done a lot of work in terms of enabling human agents to be offering personalized CX, but then the moment they couple that with self-service, the ability to expand that surface area becomes a lot. Now, what are the things that folks are innovating on, right? Number one, am I able to offer self-service just on non-voice, or I'm able to extend that to voice channels as well? When I take it to voice, am I able to cover only Hindi, English, and English, or can I also have that conversation across at least the top regional languages? And what is the level of accuracy with which I can have that conversation? Uh, when I'm opening up self-service as a use case, especially with voice, what are the ways in, or what are the top use cases for which I'm able to offer self-service in the context of e-commerce? If my top query is where is my order, or where is my sort of refund and cashback, am I able to just do that, or also reschedule my order, or a post order CSAT survey? What is the width of use cases for which I'm able to offer self-service? And then as I go start going deeper, you know when I offer self-service, am I able to audit that self-service capability also? How well am I doing for my customers, or is it just a robot talking to the customer, talking to the customers? So I think number one, I mean, just to summarize how this is becoming important, personalized CX, a lot of work done. I think that infra is in place, but how you couple that with self-service options, I think how the two of them come together, that's when magic happens. And then my ability to spread out that self-service bouquet across languages, across use cases, across inbound and outbound communications, across sales and support, that is where we are seeing a lot of innovation by organizations. Of course, folks are placing their bets. They're saying that, okay, I'm going to get this particular thing right and then start expanding. But clearly, very exciting times. When it comes to self-service CX, powered with the personalization.
Okay, great perspective, Gaurav. And you just mentioned about the online food delivery experience. So, I had a moment like this recently with an online food delivery brand. I'm sure you have had the similar situations too. And I ordered food and it was delivered super late. So, I got frustrated. I raised a complaint, and their agent actually called me back. I explained the situation and to repeat it again, as you mentioned, because they didn't have the data with them. And as at first, she mentioned that there was some issue with the delivery person and the restaurant. And I told her, see, I just want the refund, but she hesitated until I mentioned I'll take this matter to social media. So, well, that got her attention. And now, after that, not did she only refund the amount, but she also offered certain offers and discounts for my next order. So basically, the brand made sure that they retain me by transferring that amount as points to my the brand's wallet, so that I come back, and also turned the negative experience into a positive one. So that's how powerful self-service can get. And I think it allows brands to engage with the customers on a more deeper level. Also, let's shift our focus to a key enabler of this evolution. You just mentioned about generative AI, and I think the evolution of self-service that is now driven by voice bots and generative AI. As hyper-personalization is important when it comes to self-service as well, bots are becoming essential. They also provide quick answers while using generative AI to create engaging human-like interactions. And when it comes to self-service, Gen AI is powering it, and we've seen so many innovations there from contact center perspective. I think we've seen some great examples of the application across the agent assist portfolio. Also, Gen AI for CX is, I think, focused on two main areas as of now. I think it's more for personalized customer support and chatbots on virtual assistants. So these tools enhance interactions with real-time tailored responses and automate routine tasks. And I think proactive engagement is also a priority as businesses seek to anticipate customer needs, while agent assists and workflow automation are also growing. I think most investments still target solutions that directly improve interactions. So, however, I think it's essential to remember that genuine brand specific data is crucial as effective recommendations stem from accurate organizational data. So, proactive engagement is also priority, as businesses seek to anticipate customer needs. And while, agent assist and workflow automation are growing, most investments still target solutions that directly improve customer interactions. However, I think it's essential to remember that genuine brand specific data is crucial as effective recommendations stem from accurate organizational data. So, we've seen Gen AI being implemented, across self-service. I think also in terms of voice bots, we would like to know your perspective on how it's reshaping self-service interactions in the future and what unique advantages do they offer for enhancing customer experiences.
Yeah, I think voice bots are a in terms of the ability of extending that humanized empathetic support. I think from that point of view, voice bots are a big tool. uh, how can they make customer experience 10x? I'll just go there. uh, Number one, today, let me break it down between sales and support use cases, right? In terms of sales, today we are seeing these, agents, calling on a dialer, thousands of calls happening, the connect rates are low, the customers are going through the funnel, for example, document upload, etc. A lot of these use cases, the lead qualification, etc., can be accomplished with the help of voice bots. When it comes to support use cases, again, the ability of the voice bot to power multiple use cases across different languages, actually change the language while the like I as a customer, if I'm talking to the voice bot, start the conversation in English, suddenly switch to Hindi, then I'm talking colloquially in English, right? How the bot is mirroring that language, right? How the bot is able to understand the change of sentiment in the conversation. I start off as angry, so the bot is calm, and then as I calm down, the bot is hand holding me through the process. How that bot is able to manage that emotion, right? All of that while understanding the intent as to why I'm calling, matching off that intent with my data, which is, or my context, which is sitting in the company systems, and then basis that responding, that makes the conversation, a lot more productive. What bots today can do is that, as you said earlier, it can suddenly go from me calling in and the bot responding. From reactive, it can go to proactive, because the company knows, you gave the example of order getting delayed. Now, when the order is getting delayed, and this is happening in the moment and at a peak time, thousands of orders, there's a rain event happening in Gurgaon, so all orders are delayed suddenly, and it's not possible. You don't have capacity to handle all peaks. So instead of humans calling, can the bot call all those orders and have a conversation with them, appraising them on the situation? Again, doing that with empathy, that we understand you place an order, however there is rain, so you are making it as personalized as possible, and you are anticipating beforehand, before the customer calls and the customer boils over and calls with all the anger. You are calling beforehand and telling them, this is where we are, this is what we are doing, and this is how we can possibly redress the situation with the help of a coupon code or something. So I think the ability to respond in the moment, being a lot more proactive, be a lot more sensitive to the sort of personalized context of the customer. All of that can be done with the help of bot. And also, what happens is that, see, agents, depending on the vintage, right? I mean, if I'm a 1 month old agent versus when I'm a 1 year old agent, my understanding of SOPs, processes, ability to navigate the customer conversation, right? That becomes a lot better. But with the bot, you can start off at a high threshold already, and you can offer a very consistent brand first experience to everybody, rather than it being dependent on the training processes, etc., for the company and the vintage of the agent. So I think all those things, one, my ability to be more proactive instead of reactive, my ability to offer a very consistent end CX to the customers, my ability to, as a business, our ability to link whatever is happening in the customer's context with the conversation that's happening, then all of that you can really multiply with the help of bots, and you can scale it. You can scale it infinitely,
Yeah, absolutely.
which helps. Of course, there is the added element of cost, because this tends to be a lot cheaper. But that notwithstanding, just the fact that customer experience is seen today as a big moat, my differentiator, unique differentiator, that I can offer great CX to drive loyalty, to drive retention and repeat. I think just from that point of view, voice bots can be a big weapon if used properly by the businesses.
That's really amazing, Gaurav. Yeah. So thank you for sharing these insights, Gaurav, and it's really helpful to hear so many use cases and examples, about voice bots and Gen AI shaping the future of customer interactions. So basically, we have all, seen how voice bots are in action for basic tasks like answering FAQs or directing calls. But with Gen AI, I think they have leveled up in a big way, and these bots are, no longer just handling your routine inquiries, but they have become conversational agents, as you have mentioned in few examples earlier. So, basically, Gen AI also, allows these voice bots to move ahead of these pre-programmed or fielded responses, what we can say, and they also process what customer is saying, and the intent or maybe the sentiment or emotional tone, which Shruti earlier mentioned. So it feels more like a conversation with a service representative rather than interacting with a bot. And what is particularly exciting is that I feel these systems adapt over time and improve the responses and suggestions based on customer interactions. The more they interact, the more detailed or more empathetically they can respond to the customers. So this is where I feel we are seeing the real shift, where the bots can not only handle these complex tasks, but also do it in a way that feels very personal and valuable. So for example, I feel what if a voice bot could analyze our previous calls and start recognizing the patterns, and which allows it to provide more quicker and relevant solutions. As you mentioned, like the food delivery is late, and in the Gurgaon, it's like there are so many people who are frustrated, and it can give more personalized responses to each one of them, or maybe a coupon, something like that. So, and one more point that you mentioned about scalability, I feel it's one of the major advantages this technology offers. So, for example, as you mentioned, contact centers. So, during the peak hours when customer inquiries surge, these voice bots can, handle thousands of calls at once, and ensuring that no customer is, left waiting for assistance. So, this capability, I feel, enables businesses to uphold high service levels without overburdening their human agents. So, Gaurav, in terms of scalability, how do you, see these companies leveraging these benefits to enhance their customer experience strategy, or what potential impact do you feel this can have on, overall business and performance?
Yeah, so the bots. We've seen over the weekend the updates on Tesla, right, where they've launched the Optimus robots, and the expectation is that everybody's going to have one, and everybody's talking about the age of abundance, right? That's the same thing is going to happen here, where the bots ability to be available 24/7 across languages, across use cases, across channels, right? While retaining the customer's context, through that entire cycle, and becoming, proactive rather than waiting for the customer to call me. I think those are the key vectors of scalability. Now, whether it is voice or non-voice, across the board, it is going to be applicable. Obviously, I'm talking about a utopian situation where the bots have become all-knowing and they can answer any question that they want. But I think we are definitely going in that direction where use case by use case. And if you go back and look at any business, the top five problem statements, they account for 85-90% of the use of the query volume anyways, right? So the bots are moving in the direction where it is offering that ability to be scalable across all of these vectors of time, use cases, languages, inbound, outbound, and that makes the conversation a lot easier, which gives them a massive cost advantage as well, apart from the fact that the CX becomes a lot better. So clearly, scalability is a big point in favor of bots.
I feel that's really insightful thoughts that we are seeing how voice bots are developing and moving towards the future. So I also feel as organizations enhance their self-service capabilities through hyper-personalization, they offer they encounter several challenges during the implementation. Number one, I feel being integration between the new technologies and voice bots and GenAI to the existing systems that the organizations are already using. Another one, you can say, like the people or the cultural resistance that to adopt these new technologies among the teams who are already accustomed to traditional customer service methods. So I feel like there's another challenge in managing customer expectations. Like, while many customers are open to interacting with AI-driven systems, there's few people who prefer more of a, human engagement, especially if, in case of, complex inquiries, like how we see, for example, I once had ordered from Zepto and I had received a defective order and I was trying to, get to a person who can probably understand, but the bot was continuously giving the repetitive similar replies, and I really got frustrated. So I feel there are many people who actually also want that human touch, and it is critical to reduce the customer frustration. And so moreover, I feel organizations must also focus on training their AI systems effectively to ensure that the customer inquiries can be responded appropriately. And I think they should monitor all the AI conversations that is happening with the customers. So given these potential challenges, Gaurav, such as integration with technology and encountering the organizations encountering adopting new technologies, how do you think we can overcome these things?
I think you pointed out the challenges quite well. See, eventually it will all come down to three buckets, right? Which is people, process, product or tech, right? And it always starts with people, right? And people across the board, it's not just the leadership, it's actually folks on the ground, who are taking those calls and who are actually shaping the CX for the business. So I think at that level, first of all, there needs to be alignment that this is the goal we're looking to set in terms of CX. You made a point around customers wanting to talk to a human. I think customers don't necessarily want to talk to a human, they want a humanized conversation, right? Now, on the other end, it could be very much a bot, right? And as the bot, whether voice or non-voice, is able to deliver that kind of experience, the customers don't care. They want a humanized conversation, something which can give them a logical resolution to their problem. It need not always be gratification. If it's an issue at my end, if the bot is able to explain that to me in a humanized manner, I, as a logical customer, will understand it, right? So going back to the three vectors of people, process, product, first of all, getting that vision right, that this is the gold standard we want to set in terms of CX, and within that, what is the role that technology or bots can play to help us deliver that. I think that alignment needs to be there. That roadmap needs to be built out, right? I think once that alignment is there, then it's a matter of detail. Okay, now when it comes to product, folks, we see businesses struggling at multiple levels. Everybody is doing work on the Gen AI front, right? Do I go and build my own LLM versus, should I use Gemini, or should I use something from OpenAI, or should I again use an open source LLM and then sort of train it for my purpose? When I take this LLM, how do I constantly build the training loop, or how do I use my own data to make the responses far more personalized? Of course, you talked about how do I integrate my systems, with the model. So I think on the product front, again, there are multiple challenges. But again, at the people front, once you've got the vision clear, there itself, once you figure out your right partners, the folks that you work with, I think that can help you solve a lot of these product and process challenges in terms of thinking that this is what I want to do versus what you put on the ground. So to me, it starts with people. Get that people alignment, get that vision right, that this is how we want to leverage technology. Get the right partners. It could be an OEM like Kapture. It could be something that they want to build up by themselves, but do they have the right team internally? And once that is sorted, then the work that needs to be done on the product front, on the process front, that starts falling into place. Like we have got, we've got a partnership with Google Cloud Marketplace. We are on the SAP Marketplace. A lot of businesses who are using these, in this as infrastructure, which is Google Cloud or SAP, our ability to natively plug in with these businesses, that becomes a lot better, and we are able to give them a real visualization both at the C level as well as at the A level, right? I mean, when you talk to businesses, what the delivered product would look like, it helps them visualize, it helps them contextualize it in the context of their own business, that when I am getting these inbound calls and the bot is answering, what is the experience that they're going to deliver, and then with Kapture as partner on GCP or on SAP, how their integration is going to work out, then those pieces start falling into place. So my suggestion is to get that people alignment internally, partner alignment right, and then take care of the rest, because the rest then sort of follows through.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely, one perfect explanation that I can get for this. So, Shruti, if you have any more questions.
Yes, so it is not related to the topic that we're talking about, self-service particularly, but more from a market perspective. So, Gaurav, we want to know your perspective on about all this, strategic partnerships that are happening across the CX space when it comes to CCaaS vendors and the CRM vendors. So we see, a lot of partnerships happening there, especially Genesys, Salesforce, and all of that, right? So what is your perspective on this, and what opportunities that this will open up, particularly in this market?
See, with the CX being top of mind, whether it's in the boardroom or in the customer support center, the lines are going to get blurred. There are a bunch of folks in the ecosystem. It can be the cloud players, it can be the CCaaS players, it can be CRM players, and actually many more folks who provide bots, folks who can do audit on these conversations. So there are different businesses or players who are addressing different parts of the customer interaction, right, today. But as businesses want to offer a unified customer experience, the boundaries between these different players, that this is CCaaS player can't just say I'm going to enable the call, right? Then that person has to also have the ability that, okay, while I'm powering the human call, can I enable you with IVR steering? Can I enable you with voice pods? And can I also enable you audit that conversation? While in the ecosystem, there's already a player who's auditing that conversation. Now, how does that player works with this? So bottom line, the lines are going to get blurred between these different players, which is where, Kapture has taken a very fundamental call that instead of being the infrastructure provider, what we want to do is we want to follow that conversation and we want to power that conversation. When the customer is reaching out or expecting a response from the business, can we power that conversation with a voice or non-voice bot? Now that call can go on a CCaaS player or another bot provider, but we want to power that payload of that conversation. Once that conversation moves past the bot and the customer wants to talk to a human, again, can we enable that human to have a more personalized conversation with the customer, right? Once that conversation, either with the bot or with the human, is done, can we go out and seek active feedback from the customer in terms of an NPS or a CSAT survey? Or can we go back and audit that entire conversation? So for us, it's important that we are true to our purpose. Our purpose is, are we powering that conversation well, right? And in the process, to power the conversation well, can we forge the right partnerships so that we can do a good job? I'll give you an example. If we want to deliver a best in class voice bot, we know that we can understand what the customer is saying across languages. We can match it off with the customer's context, which is sitting in the business's database. Basis that, we can frame a response back to the customer. But all of this needs to be delivered on VoIP, or it needs to be delivered on the telephony. Now, how are we partnering? How are we integrating with the telephony providers so that we can provide that best-in-class bot experience? When that call comes to a human, we need to pull a lot of data, from the business's own sort of different systems. Now, how are we integrating with them so that we can put that context together for the agent so that the agent can have a good conversation with the customer? So, the lines are going to get blurred. The North Star should be, what is the purpose of me as an organization? And for us, the purpose is power the conversation and analyze that conversation well. And for that, who are your natural partners in the ecosystem and how well do you integrate with them so that you can, be true to your purpose? I think that's what's going to be the driving force, across businesses, or it should be. And I'm hoping that in the end, once we've, seen some of this dust settling down, because you're seeing a lot of action in this space, eventually it's going to be great for customer experience, right? I mean, folks will get their act together, including businesses, and the ability to offer best-in-class CX, that threshold is just going to get lifted so much that the customers are going to be in for a good time.
Absolutely, Gaurav. Great perspective, and it was nice to know Capture CX direction also when it comes to offering a unified CX. So, great discussing with you, Gaurav and Richa.
Thank you to our panel for sharing their insights today. The future of self service hinges on combining hyper personalization with empathy, ensuring that customer interactions are efficient and meaningful. By leveraging advanced technologies like voice bots, businesses can offer proactive and personalized experiences that resonate with their customers. The scalability of these innovations enables organizations to handle high demand while allowing human agents to focus on more complex issues. It is clear that these advancements are shaping the future of customer engagement, and it will be fascinating to see how they continue to develop. Thank you again to our panel. We hope you found today's discussion enlightening and valuable. Stay tuned for more such episodes as we explore the latest trends in technology and customer experience.